for those who are gone. So, all right, so we're trying to get x alone. We added 3 divided by 2. What's in the spot on this one where the 3 was? B. So in this equation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to still get x alone. Okay, alone means just on the side by itself, and I'm going to do the same steps. So this time I'm going to add b. The conundrum is, you know what that word is, Michaela? Conundrum? It's like a problem. Conundrum. Well, conundrum.
Not for math.
Yeah.
Is C plus BD?
So it's not. So we don't know. That's the conundrum, Michaela. That we don't know what C plus B is. We just have to leave it as C plus B. So now left on this side, I have AX, and on this side, because I do not know what these numbers are, I'm going to just leave it as C plus B. Whatever they are, I would add them together, but I don't know what they are. Do you remember here now the next thing is I divided by 2. So what could I divide by to get the x alone on this one? And once again, I don't know what happens when I divide by a. Here I knew 22 divided by 2, so what we're going to do then is we're going to just leave it. X is alone, so whatever C is, and whatever B is, and whatever A is, you would add them together and divide. So today we're going to get some things that look like this, which might seem kind of strange. So why, I know I get this question a lot. Why would I need to do this? Well, there are a couple cases in math where we want to rearrange a formula. For instance, do you remember area equals what for a rectangle? Yeah, base times height. So in that equation, area is alone, but maybe I would want an equation that would solve for the base or for the height. The other time we're going to use it is a little later on. We're going to graph lines. Have any of you done that before in pre-algebra? Do you remember y equals mx plus b? No? Remember kind of hearing about it, where you could do the y-intercept and the slope? So the other reason we're going to use it is we're going to rearrange things to get it in that form so we can graph them later on. So, what's that? It's right by you. Look it. No, look. In the middle. Okay. So some hints. We're going to do these 6 examples together, and we're going to just do a bunch of whiteboard practice today. So if there's fractions, we would like to clear them out to make things easier. If the variable we are solving for is in the denominator, either clear the fraction or use proportions. Oh man, cross multiplication, you remember that? On occasion, you might need to use distributive property. All right, here we go. This is a formula you will see next year in geometry. V is the volume. You don't at this point need to know that, but it's volume of a cylinder. This is the cylinder. And I do know you talked about shapes in pre-algebra. What's the base of a cylinder? Like the Snickers can is my cylinder. What's the shape of the base? A circle. So a circle has a radius, right? And then a cylinder also has a height. So the volume is pi r squared times h. Here's my question. Based on the formula, what is the height? I'm going to highlight the word height in terms of v and r squared. All that means is, would you get the h alone on that side? That's all we're doing. I want it alone. I want h alone on this side. So I have pi times r squared times h. Anybody want to guess what I would do to both sides to get h alone. Yes. Yeah, so if they were plus signs, Bree, we would subtract, but because they're multiplication, we're going to divide both sides by pi and by r squared. You're going to get better at it. But how do I know that? So let's say I had 3 times x. Hold on. If I had 3 times x and I said, hey, get x alone, wouldn't you know to divide by 3? So I'm going to really emphasize today that it's multiplication that I'm undoing. So what we have then is h equals v divided by pi r squared. And that's how we're going to leave it. Okay, let's look over at 2. What variable is alone in number 2 right now? Y. I want us to rearrange, and I want you to get x alone. So normally, if there were a number over here, just pretend it's a number, what would be your first step to get x alone? Add 6 to both sides. So we're going to do that. 1 second, Jane. But I don't know what that number is, so I'm going to leave it as y plus 6. Because they're not like terms. If it were a y behind the 6, I could add them together. What's left? 5x. Okay, it's 5. I'm going to write this for those of you who are like, I don't know which one to do. 5 times x. How do I undo multiplication? Divide. So I'm going to write divided by 5. And really, I can't simplify this. I don't know what y is, so I'm going to leave it as is. X equals y plus 6 all over 5. Shane, you had a question a minute ago. What's that? Uh-oh. Are you okay? I know. Are you okay? Is it bleeding right now? Would you like a Band-Aid? You would? All right, I'll get you a Band-Aid. Let's look at number 3. Would you highlight or circle whatever you're doing right now, the letter W? Okay, now there are different ways we could do this. What do you want to do? We're trying to get W alone. Do you see how it's 2 times L plus W? Could I maybe divide both sides by 2? You could also distribute the 2 and then go that route. I think if we have the 2 in front though, it's a little easier to do it this way. Okay, so that cancels. What do I now have left on the right side? L plus W. This is the one I want to get alone. And on the left side, I have P divided by 2. How do I undo addition? Subtraction. All right, it looks kind of like a mess, but I'm just going to have to leave it. So basically what this means, this is P for perimeter. The perimeter divided by 2 minus the length equals the width. All right. Ooh, on this one I have some division to get rid of. Who remembers how we undo division? Multiplication. This time I want us to solve for y. Y is right up here. It's kind of hard to see on mine, but hopefully you can see it on yours. So I'm going to rewrite it because it's so small. So we have 6 times y divided by p equals 8. Or if you want, you can do cross multiplication. So, to see the divided by p, I'm going to move it to the other side by multiplying both sides by p. So now these can cancel. And what do I have left on this side? 6, that's times y equals 8p. Remember, I'm trying to get that y alone. What do you think I could do next? So it is multiplication. So let's undo multiplication. How do we undo multiplication? Let's divide both sides by 6. Y equals 8p over 6. Okay, yikes, we're trying to give B, I gotta get the B alone. So I have 1/2, that's the same as like dividing by 2, so the way I'm going to get rid of my divided by 2 is to multiply both sides by 2. I'm going to rewrite over here because there's not enough space. I'm going to leave some space. So I'm going to multiply by 2, and then I'm going to multiply this side by 2. The 2 times 1/2 cancels over here. 2 times 1/2. What's 2 times 1/2? 1. You can put a 1 there if you want. Well, 1 times anything is just that thing, so you don't have to write 1h, but you can write 1h if you want. Can you say that louder? If I reduced what? But it's not, 2 times 1/2 is 1, not 0 though. But what if you what? Reduced it to 0? You can't reduce it to 0 because 2 times 1/2 is 1. I'll write it in if you want. So 2a equals 1h if you want, b plus c. Because 2 times 1/2 is 1. But I don't need to write 1h. Okay, I'll write it in then. All right, I need to get rid of the h times. How do I get rid of multiplication? Division. Do you want to divide by 1 too? Or do you know that I'm doing that? If you want to put the 1 there, leave it there, that's fine. But isn't 2 over 1 just 2? Okay. On the other side, yep. So 2a over h equals b plus c. What's my last step, do you think? Minus c. So b equals 2a divided by h minus c. That was kind of a crazy one. Okay, last one, and then we're going to do some practice together. Solve for y. Okay. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I see this plus ax over here. So I am going to subtract ax from both sides. I now have b times y equals c minus ax over here. And this is b times y. That's what that means. How would I undo this b? Divide.